Yo, the views and the expressions of Bone Man's program are not necessarily the views and expressions of Cat Television.
Viewer discretion is advised, boneheads. Coming to the stage, our final comedian. He participates in Comedy Wars at MU. You can see him at Eastside Comedy. Very, very funny guy. Give a loud round of applause for Dan Sheehan.
All right, guys, how we doing? All right, that sounds good. That's a terrible way to preface most of the depressing stories about my love life you guys are about to be hit with. That being said, I was paid a very interesting compliment recently at the bar. Not this bar, but another one. I was hanging out, and a girl walked up to me at the bar doing something I like to call the heel stomp. The heel stomp is what happens in the third act of the night when girls start to walk in heels the way that you think people should walk in heels. Kind of that just general, like, oh, these are spikes in my feet. This is a terrible sensation. This girl walks up to me, and her drunk girl swag is at like a general 10. And so she walks up to me, and she says, "You're cute, but like nerd cute." Which is kind of like saying something's good in a way that it's usually not good. Like, oh, this sandwich is brick tasty. This music is Kings of Leon good. And I don't even know what I'm supposed to say in response to that because I feel like I should just say thank you, ma'am. You're looking very hooker pretty tonight. Yeah. Wow, it just got really quiet in here. I'm really happy. I bought a car recently. I'm really happy about it. It's a 2010 Honda Civic. You're right. Dan does okay. Just kidding. Wealthy parents. But when I was buying my car, one of the main selling points that the Honda dealer gave to me was, "Don't worry, the trunk opens from the inside." Which I guess meant that the guy selling me my car thought that I was the sort of guy who would get locked in his own trunk. Like, oh yeah, I could see you getting involved with the wrong folks. Which I guess is better than him saying oh, if you lock someone in this trunk, they're not getting out. I'll take hapless over kidnapper literally any day of the week. Ugh. I was at Target. And I saw a particularly attractive Target employee, which is rare. It's kind of like a unicorn. And I saw this girl, and she was gorgeous, and she worked at Target. But I also had a question, so it presented me with this problem where oh, I've got to talk to this gorgeous girl, but also I have to ask her where they keep the mixed nuts. And so I go up and I ask her "Excuse me, miss," and then as soon as I say it, she just turns the corner and leaves. She has nothing to do with me. And I can only assume that she was part of some sort of Target Platinum program for only the hottest of Target customers. I'm I get it, that's fine, I'm not involved. I'll go back to Walmart, I've got great teeth, I'm a god there. Walmart hot just means you're sober. I tell you the worst thing is I was back at home recently for the holidays, and I don't usually see people from my high school years, but when I do, it's terrible. Can everyone agree with me on that? No one wants to see anyone from high school. No one's ever oh, I'm so glad that I saw these people who knew me when I was 16. Okay, maybe it's just me. Yeah, I was terrible. All right, so I see this girl and she's real pregnant. Like, not fake pregnant. Like, there's a real baby in there. I'm just buying some bacon or whatever. And then another time I'm at a local grocery store. Going through, I decided to buy some cookie dough because it's been a rough week. I don't know, Valentine's Day, fuck it. I don't need to justify this shit to you guys. I buy some Velveeta shells and cheese because I'm a horribly lonely man. And you don't really judge that until you get to the self-checkout line. And there's an attractive girl behind you. And she's seeing you buy like Velveeta shells and cheese for $1 and cookie dough for $36. Like, why can a girl never see me buy something fucking manly, like a crossbow and an issue of Men's Journal? Like, oh yeah, this issue of Men's Journal has an article about what to do when women are too attracted to you. And this crossbow is for boar hunting with my bros. Because that's what men do. You guys are right, that's worth talking over. Men of the audience, I've got an advice piece for you. Never get into a pillow fight with your girlfriend. Never do it, because here's what it comes down to. Men in this society, we have a pent-up hunter-gatherer instinct because of the way that male culture works. People have made us think that we need to hunt and we need to gather, and that's not right, but that's how it works. And so if you have this instinct in your head and you start pillow fighting with someone, after about 2 pillow hits, it's not fun anymore. Your eyes go white. You've entered pillow combat. And then you're going to black out for a few minutes. You're going to come back and you'll be like, oh, baby, why are you crying? You get it? Because like the pillow fight would be like way too intense for something romantic. Wow, we really talk a lot around here, don't we? Over there. Nah, I'm going to give up on that. That's not. I'm going to hit on all of you later. I'm going to have 6 drinks. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to be real gross. I'm going to be like, check out this dick, and I'm going to take it out. You're not going to want that. So you should listen to these 6 minutes that I have left. I'm taking that as a we want it for over there, so stay away from over there, because it's going to get gross. There were a lot of heroes on 9/11, but I tell you who wasn't a hero? The superheroes. Did you ever hear about what Superman did on 9/11? Yeah, he did nothing. He's fucking Superman. He can turn back time. He can stop bullets with his chest. But the one day Superman decides to catch up on Rizzolian Isles, 9/11 happens. Some of you also might have noticed that Rizzolian Isles was not on the air during 9/11. And for that, I would like to high-five you after the show. Because that means you watch as much shitty TNT TV as I do. I met a girl recently who was so upset by the fact that I smoke weed that she decided to impart a terrible anecdote on me. She said, yeah, I get that you smoke weed, but weed killed my uncle. And I was like, well, damn, how? This sounds interesting. And she said to me, well, my uncle was in a car. And I said, oh, no. And she said, well, this car got into an accident. And I said, oh, no. And it turns out when the car got into an accident, a mailbox shattered through the window and decapitated my friend's uncle. And I said, that sounds like circumstance. And I said, was he driving? And she said, nah, he was a passenger. And I said, was the driver high? And she said, nah, he was drunk. So I started to think, like, maybe weed killed her uncle like live theater killed Abraham Lincoln. Or maybe like parades killed JFK. Like, listen, all I'm saying is that we didn't stop parades just because JFK got killed during one. People weren't like, yo, we had a parade once and our president died. Yeah, you guys are right. That was a national tragedy. Shouldn't have touched on that. Classic Dan. Do you guys ever think it's bullshit that horses ask for shoes and no other animal has them? I think it's kind of bullshit because what it comes down to is there are charities for humans dedicated to the fact that a lot of humans don't have shoes, and yet we give them to horses all the time. Eat a dick, horses. That was dumb. Ugh. Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been a mess. This has been just a true mess. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to hit on everybody because, good God, are they a mess over there. And I can get there. Get me drinks and I'll hit on anybody. Let's finish this set off talking about something real. We've talked about a lot of bullshit up till now. Let's talk about race. Yeah, let's get to those hot button issues. I feel like a lot of people are tired of white people. I feel like the world has had about enough. It took about 2,000 years. But we've had enough of white people. And I feel like the people who are the most sick of white people are actually other white people. Example, I was once at a rap show fairly recently, and I was pretty close to the stage. I was having a good time. And I had very few cares, so I elevated my hands into the air. This is rap tradition, for those of you who don't know. And so there I am with my hands in the air, and some guy behind me goes, "So white." And I think to myself, guilty as charged, I have 6 pairs of khakis. That's 6 pairs of khakis. I can't think of 6 formal events that I would wear those to in a row where I couldn't get them dry cleaned in time for another event. So I turn around to face my accuser. It's another white guy. So the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "Sir, there is nothing whiter than calling another white guy white." And as soon as I've said it, I know I've done something terrible. I know I've done something that has ruined the cosmos for all the other kids. Because by calling another white guy white for calling me white, I created an infinite loop of whiteness. And the problem with that is then the whole rap show stopped. It ground to a halt. The music was over, as was all of our youths. We were all grown men now. And from it, everything collapsed into a white singularity. And then it burst forward with the sound of a white hole, which actually sounds a lot like an oboe because the oboe is actually the whitest instrument. If you guys can find a black person that played the oboe, please tell me, because that's the whitest instrument that there ever was. And so the white hole is open, and it's sucking everything from the whole situation. And all of a sudden, from the center of the white hole rises a new Michael Bublé Christmas album. The whitest object that ever there was. And in unison, every white man had to leave to listen to it together, because even though he's Canadian, that man's an American treasure in my mind. I think we did okay here. I'm going to go try and hit on the people in the back.
This program was produced with the assistance of CAT facilities at Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri. Copyright 2013. Bone Man.